A truly crucial skill in a real fight is that of closing the distance on your opponent and taking him down to the ground. If you can successfully get your opponent down and land in good position, then you have a massive advantage. Once you have an opponent down in a dominant position, you negate most of his offense and set him up for a finishing hold or strikes from a position that prevents him from effectively striking back. Baiana, the double leg takedown, is one of the very best means of doing this. It involves you shooting in on your opponent and tackling his legs, forcing him to the ground with you in the top position. 1. You stand in front of an opponent and intend to knock him to the ground. The only problem is that the opponent during such attempts can fight and strike. It is solved like this. You make a false maneuver, raising your arms high, then quickly bend down and grab your opponent's legs, abruptly passing under his arms without any serious danger. 2. Here you can see the beginning of the capture. Bend over and bend your knees. This helps a lot to establish the correct position of the body before you rush at the opponent. Brazilian Jiu-jitsu strongly recommends that you do not kneel at the moment of the forward throw. You can fight on pavement, in which case falling to your knees can be painful. It follows from this that the forward thrust in Brazilian Jiu-jitsu is different from its counterparts in wrestling and wrestling. When throwing, always point your head towards the opponent's leading hand. You must remain out of reach of his back hand. With your front foot, step between your opponent's legs. This is a penetrating move that allows you to get into your opponent's space. Imagine that your opponent's legs are pulled together by a rope and with your step you step right on it. Don't spread your arms wide. This will allow the opponent to easily intercept them and interfere with your attack, and in the worst case, even turn you around and throw you to the ground. 3. Contact. The shoulder cuts into the stomach of the opponent. This blow causes him to lose his balance. At the same time, the arms wrap around the opponent's legs from behind. As soon as you make contact with your opponent, step forward with your back foot, bringing it in line with your front foot. This is the key point. By putting your back foot forward, you can get up and later knock your opponent to the ground or go around and get behind him. The ideal contact position is now shown. Your spine is straight and your stance is stable. The knees are bent and the back foot is stepped forward. The head is firmly pressed to the side of the opponent. 4. The ascent begins. Every time you lift your opponent off the floor, there is almost nothing he can do to prevent his fall. Since he is no longer on the ground, he can neither gain strength, nor maintain balance, nor maintain his position. To lift your opponent easily, you must place your feet close to him and crouch so that your thighs are under his hips. Then push your hips towards your opponent and straighten your legs. 5. Unlike many wrestling styles, the goal of which is simply to throw the opponent on their back, Brazilian Jiu-jitsu emphasizes landing in a vantage point. Instead of being content with just dropping your opponent, you should take out his legs while throwing, making sure you don't land in his defensive castle where you won't have any advantage. To do this, take your opponent's legs to the side and move him using only his head. 6. As a result, the opponent does not have the slightest chance to close his legs around your body and catch in a protective lock. He falls heavily, and you are already wrapping your arms around his legs, preparing to lie across. 7. Full hold. Not just knock the opponent to the ground, but do it in such a way that you are in a great position. From here, you can perform a hold or try to sit on it,